Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Retirement Railroad Friday Live and Mail Call. All right. John will be joining us here in a second. And it's good to, first of all, great to be back. In case those don't know it, I moved from Florida, 1,300 miles. All right, John, thank you. 1,300 miles across the United States back to, hey, Ray, to where, of all the places I've lived, and there's a large number of them, I think, let's see, 2 places in Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, 2 different places in Texas, 2 different places in Tennessee, Florida, Georgia. Anyway, my job kept me hopping around. Hey, Heath, welcome. So here I am back in beautiful. Okay, I had to do something special. So we lived here for 10 years back in the 90s, and basically where the kids grew up. We have a daughter that lives here. I was just talking to John, and a lot less windows in the room than your previous layout space. Well, this is not the ultimate layout space. This is just the garage. So if you hear an echo, that's why. And we're still in the process of getting settled in, and I still got a bunch of junk back here I got to get cleaned out. But before I get into all that, let's bring my compadre up here. Hey, John.
Good morning, all. How are we today? Good to be back.
Doing great. And just, so you don't feel left out, John, I put this together for, because John's another person that migrated out of Florida.
And actually, I'm close to there, too. Not too far away.
You actually are.
Yes.
Hey, Brian at Angels. Good to have you. Hi, good to see you.
Yes, hi. I've been watching yours lately.
So, I've been catching parts here and there of everything High's been doing, and I would like to watch Brian at the Angels. He's always got some real good modeling going on. And then, of course, you got to watch Robert just so you can watch either paint or glue dry. So, anyway, just let people know, kind of get a feel for. I haven't been sitting on my butt. I've actually been doing some work. I've got a shed out back. All right, and that's an 8x16 shed out there in the back corner, and desperately needs some paint. But what I plan on doing at some point in time is take that. It's only 8x16, so you really, it's bigger than Heath's space, but I do HO, so scale wise, it's not. I want to put in a 12 by 24 shed, but that's going to be at least a year or so down the road. So in the meantime, what I am going to do is, here is the back side of me, everybody. And what I've started on up here is a shelf layout, and that will be 12 feet long by 16 inches wide. And it'll be my section of the racetrack and of the Burlington CB&Q through Downers Grove. All right, so it'll have 2 near side sidings and a number of backside sidings and a 3-track kind of main line. I'll have the motormen available to run on the center track with a commuter train going back and forth. Well, these are the same cabinets that I had in Florida. All right. And so I got my workbench here, and I'll have the shelf layout there. And above where you can't see, but here, I'll tell you what. I'll take it up a little bit. And I haven't found my smart switches yet. They're still in a box, but there's more lighting there to light up the upper deck. Okay. But I don't need those on now, so we'll turn those off. But, in Florida, I had a workspace to model on about this wide, all right? That had a cover, it was coverable to a scene I never completed. So I'm loving having this extended space. But not only that, I have another area over here I got to work on. All right. And some more shelves. And this will be where the paint booth and modeling area will actually be, is over on this side. I know, Heath, isn't that right? I'm used to be able to just tell Alexa. I got Alexa hooked up, but I don't have the smart switches. I can't find them. They're in a box with all my DCC stuff out in the shed, so I got to dig through all of that.
I know how that is, and I've been here 1 year and 3/4. I still haven't found everything I need to find.
Mm-hmm.
It's someplace.
Yeah, I know how that is.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm back. Thank you, Lee. Hi there, by the way. I didn't see you sneak in on me. Just buy replacements. Yeah, they're not that expensive. I could. Because when I find them, I'll just use them somewhere else. But just to do this area here, I added a bunch of electrical. All right. And, of course, putting the top on the cabinets, the cantilevered shelf. It's ready for the backdrop up there. It's ready to go. Matter of fact, I had gone to Home Depot to pick up the masonite for that and the plywood for the top of the or the base, sub base for the shelf layout, and their ripsaw was out of commission. I have not, Heath, not yet. There's a club in a Model Railroad Museum here that is open on weekends that I plan to get down to. Dennis from Otter Creek is way up in northwest Oklahoma, I think Woodward, or up at that general vicinity. And then Claude is over by Tulsa, I think. So, but there's a number of Model Railroaders here. Hey, JD. JD's only a few hours south. So I'll get down there to see JD probably in the not so distant future because my brother lives within like 3-4 miles of JD.
I'll be right back, Steve. I think somebody's at my door.
Okay. I can do that, Robert. He's up in Tulsa area too. You know, I heard you mention Steve Davis, and I got to thinking, I'm going, oh my God, my old boss when I worked here, his name was Steve Davis. All right, and I'm going, I wonder if that's the same guy. It's not. After I saw the interview that who did it? Was it Second Section or somebody did? I saw it wasn't him. Wasn't the same guy. So, and if I got a little bit of slurred speech, I'm in the process of getting some dental work done. I had some oral surgery, and so get my teeth fixed.
I'm back.
All right. So was somebody there?
No, it was just the dogs. They hear a noise and they're off. You know how that is.
Yeah. Most definitely. So, but anyway, my wife and I have, it's like old home week here for us. It's like, you know, we've been gone for 23 years. We live about 3 miles from where we used to live. Oral surgery, the new. Yeah, about the same, Heath. About the same. Yeah. You want to see I'm drunk and still hungover.
Yeah.
So, John, in the month and a half hiatus, I imagine you've had quite a few mail calls.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
You gonna share any of that with us?
Well, I can. Some of the purchases I made were sort of like multi purchases. I bought me a table saw for doing some of
There you
my
go.
layout, which I needed because Lowe's won't cut things 3 5/8 inches strips. So that was all part of my plan to be able to do that. But if you notice over my head here,
Yeah,
that
I
wasn't
got
here
mine right
last.
back. My table saws. Yeah, my table saw's right there, and then of course I got my chop / miter saw.
Yeah, I got that, and with along with the table saw, I bought a miter saw stand, which I needed bad. You know, when you're cutting long boards and they're hanging off the edge, it's kind of hard to hold them down and chop at the same time. So, bought a miter saw stand, and all
Well,
that
I've got
was
one of those dead. I got a roller dead man back there too.
all that was to
You know,
start
that's a
building my.
stand with a roller on top.
Yeah. All that was to start working on my layout. I needed to do something. So if you see up over here over my head, that is a new section, and to the whichever direction that is another new section. There are quasi shelf layout. I do have supports for them because they're 24 inches wide, and I wanted to make sure they were supported well. And then I've also got this section done on the other side of the room, which unfortunately I can't show you because I only have one camera. And it's a 10-foot long section, and then it connects to the center section on both ends. And my next task will be to make a spline to be able to attach the 2 outside ends of the W here. And I have to do that because unfortunately along that wall there is 3 doors that I can't cover up. So I'm going to have it hanging out there in space with a couple of supports in between them. Will make it out of.
Where's the helix go?
The helix will be in the shed when I get mine. Yeah. Yeah, my shed, I still want a 14 by 40, and that's a little expensive. So
Yeah, that's not a shed. That's a building.
well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I may have to look at a smaller one to meet my funding. My son's got one out here. It's 10 by 20. That that ain't big enough, but that's his love shack.
I could almost make that work.
Yeah,
I could
well,
almost make a 10 by 20 work.
I think if I just did around the room and left the center open, that would be fine. But I've got this massive 5 foot by 8 foot or 5.5 foot by 8 foot section that's right above my head that would eat up an aisle space pretty good. And that's going to have my turntable and my roundhouse, my 18 stall roundhouse on it. So I want to make sure I keep this.
Heath, the heck with all that. I'm going straight to 1-to-1. I want an E unit out back.
So some of my other purchases, well, I as in parts wise, if you can see underneath my layout here, I bought 4 of these LED.
Oh,
Five,
you're
five. Yeah, it's bright, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You're
because
shining right in everybody's face.
my eyes are getting old and I need more light. So I've got 2 of those, one under this section and one under that section. That over there is my paint area. You can see my paint's up against the wall. Move my cup. Paint's up against the wall. And then behind me here's going to be my DCC and engine workstation, which has another light above it because, again, my eyes are getting old. Maybe you can see back here are 2 old Atlas boxes. Those are some more FP7s that I bought on eBay. I'll be doing the same thing I did to this CNEI. I think I showed this on one of your last broadcasts, Steve, where I'm actually, I don't think, adding lights on the inside of it. Got them all in there nice and neat. They all work. I checked them out, and they will all be DCC controlled. That's the
Cool.
headlights, marker lights, and number board lights. And then I purchased from Zitnik Trains a 1 DCC chip. This is their new, what is it? It's, oh, come on. It's the upgrade to their 166s. It's an SDH 167D sound chip with speaker. I'll replace that speaker with a different one. I don't like the Soundtrack speakers, but so I've got 3 of them now. The 2 engines that are up in the boxes, one used to be a Pennsylvania, and my friend from Zitniks would be heartbroken that I stripped all the Pennsylvania Railroad stuff off of it. The other one is an undecorated, which I will be painting those 2 to match this one. So for that, it's kind of hard to spray paint around here outside at this time of the year. So for that, let's move you over here. I bought me a new spray booth, which is not hooked up yet, but that will help. I've already got the match colors for the CNEI Railroad, so I'll be able to spray them that orange detailing on there is probably going to be the most difficult to do, but I did go to my local hobby shop and I bought some of the good Tamiya, however you want to say it, tape for taping for spray painting. So hopefully that will work. What else did I get? Well, I've made several purchases from Bernard. Mini prints that I ordered some extra figures that I like. I especially like when he's got somebody that is in railroad garb or could be railroad garb. One of the figures has a guy holding an old style lantern. I like to purchase them when I see them because they help me with my layout. Also got a guy.
Yeah, he's got a guy with one of those old style oil can too.
Yes, I do have that. Yeah. And that one's real fragile. Watch that long stem on that oil can. I haven't broken it off yet, but it's pretty thin. I broke off one of the legs of my big spider, so I'm gonna have to make something for that. Other than that, I think that's all my purchases. I spent enough money. Oh, that looks real good. You need it there, don't you?
Well, it's we're kicking off a fun old-fashioned Griswold family Christmas.
Very nice.
This is my cousin Eddie hat. Hey, Randall.
But that's
well. If you do break off if the oil can breaks off, you can always
blame it on Heath. I know. That's what I do.
That's right.
Everything I can. It's always Heath's fault.
Some things never die.
Except probably your Blame It on Heath t-shirt. Is that gone now?
Yeah, but mine's gone. My wife still wears hers all the time. I gotta get a new one.
Yeah, it just must mean you.
I hope he still has them in the store. Well, I did.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I've been happy with what I've been doing. I was telling Steve about when I was turning my radiuses here at the end of my aisles. It's like, how do you get a radius point when you have nothing to attach your compass to? So all I did was I made a little L-shape piece of wood, scrap wood, that I could clamp to one of the fascia boards and get my point on there, and I turned those radiuses. Nice big 30-inch radiuses for those 210-2s I've got.
Oh yeah. Well, Randall missed the intro, so I got to get.
Mm-hmm.
Not a rumor, Randall. It's the truth. Live in Oklahoma City.
Well, yeah. And unfortunately, when I bought my phone.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why that is. All right. There's nothing I can do about it. It's not a Wi-Fi situation since I'm hardwired. So I have no idea. So
well,
it is what it is.
Steve, you move to some way out country, and it's just like you're dubbing a Japanese movie. You talk first, and then you hear it.
Everybody talks about places like Oklahoma being out in the middle of the boonies or whatever. As far as technology goes, the most advanced weather radar systems in the world are here in Oklahoma. All right, just as an example, NexRad radar was here in 1990, where they overlay the Doppler images across satellite images, and you could live track the tornadoes as they went across the city. And that was back in 1990. It's all because of the Severe Weather Center, National Severe Weather Center here in Norman, just southern suburb of Oklahoma City.
Yeah, you need it there.
Yep. So it's not out in the middle of. It may be out in the middle of nowhere, but it's not. It's not. It's more advanced than what people would ever give it credit for.
Yeah. Well, we had some tornadoes around us last weekend, I think it was. But I think.
Yeah, my daughter had one two streets away from her.
Yeah, I was wondering. I think since I'm up on a mountain, that I've never heard of one coming through this area. So hopefully I'm a little safe from that. Because usually I'm in the clouds.
She was right on the. She's on the Tennessee Kentucky border.
Up Clarksville.
Clarksville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess.
Hey, Kyle.
They're still cleaning up there.
Yep. She was without power for what, 5 days, something like that.
Yeah. But I think, Steve, that's all my purchases. I know I need to make a lot. Oh no, I did buy 2 number 8 turnouts 2 days ago. They're Atlas, but that's all.
I'm in pretty good shape. You bought Atlas switches?
That's all I've got.
What kind of switch? What kind of switch machines are you using?
I'm gonna use Atlas. I'm sorry.
Okay, as long as
turtles.
Tortoises, you're gonna tear up the Atlas switches. You're gonna learn to hate it. Okay. I'm just giving you a warning. Now, if you use solenoid switch motors, you'll be fine. But if you use stall motors, you tear up Atlas switches. It's just they're not designed for stall motor switch machines.
I know, but I got that whole bunch of them at $2.
Okay, hi.
So,
well, you got to figure out what your time is and tear apart your layout less than a year down the road to fix them.
Well, hopefully I will be tearing up the layout a year down the road to move it outside, but right now I'm still.
When I dismantled the retirement railroad, I threw all the Atlas ones away. Well, Kyle, as long as you're using the solenoid switch machines, you'll be fine. Okay, but if you're going to use a stall motor switch machine on an Atlas switch, it tears them up because of where the tie, the throw tie, how it connects with those little shitty rivets that don't hold. They're not even rivets; they're plastic. Anyway, it's not designed for stall motor switch machines. And a stall motor will tear them up.
Well, I've been trying to get microengineering switches. I'm still missing like 7 of them that I need. I've even tried ordering directly from microengineering and still haven't got them. I did that back in March. He says, well, we're going to run turnouts in April or May, and we'll get them to you. Well, that's still, this is December.
Ground throws should be okay, Kyle.
And I'll probably just ground throw or finger throw them until I move outside. So, because they're all going to be within reach.
I've got to get either 2 or possibly 4 double Pico Code 100 double slips. I should have everything else switch wise for the shelf layout. I just need to buy some flex track and some cork and some wire. Everything else I got. So, except time.
Oh, you're retired. You got plenty of time.
Yeah, right. You know, those naps get in the way too.
Yeah.
John, if John wants to piss me off, he just calls me at 2:00. He knows I'll be asleep.
Uh-huh.
God damn it, John, you know.
Well, I just forget. Now, are you going to sleep at 2:00 Central Time or 2:00 Eastern Time?
Central Time. I'm back. My body clock has always been Central Time.
Okay.
And
when you got up at 4, you were really getting up at 3.
Yeah, but that was because of my old work schedule. So yeah. I mean, I'm still getting up at 3, 4 o'clock. Here's the nice thing, though. I have been catching this last week anyway. Been catching some of the what were 8 o'clock live streams that are now 7 o'clock live streams. And then I don't know if he's still on or not, he decides to change his to 10 o'clock on a Wednesday or whatever he's thinking about doing. Hell, I'll be waking up but before the end of his live streams.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of work outside too, so pruning up more trees so I can mow under them, and got several deer that are frequenting my
Joe,
property.
blue points are solenoid, aren't they, Joe? I think blue points are solenoid.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, they're manual? I thought blue. Okay. I thought Blue Points was a brand of switch machine.
Yeah, but I'll just hand throw mine because all the turnouts are going to be out close to the edge of whatever section of board it's in. And even the deepest one's only 24 inches, so I can reach across to throw it anyway.
Well, the rail height on the shelf layout here will be 5 feet. Okay. So the last thing I want to do is have to reach over to throw, even though it's only 16 inches, there will be some buildings and so forth on the front. And so I definitely want to stay with my controls. So
yeah, I'll
mount a couple cameras up there.
I've got one building that's going to be right on the edge, but it's in an area where there is turnout.
Okay, so I wasn't dreaming. Blue Points are under the thing controlled, and I think they're solenoids. They're not stall motor.
No, he may be talking about it's a rod, so you push and pull a rod. I think I've seen them before.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they're a manual rod throw that you're. Here, let me switch the views here. Do. Let's go with that one.
Joe says I'm correct.
All right, so I'd have a rod here to throw the switch.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, I've seen those. And it's a lot like tortoises have a remote option. You can get a remote bracket that's a little cable line where the stall motor does its thing back and forth, and it sends the cable a distance to throw the switch. Same principle, except it's still controlled by a tortoise.
Mhm. Yeah. Now, Steve, do you
Anyway.
think those would have problems with
No, they'll be
breaking the
fine.
Atlas? Okay.
The problem with no, they work fine with Atlas too, because it's an instantaneous. Okay, it whether it's manual, all right. I'll tell you what the difference is. Okay, on a manual switch, you move it, you let go. Okay, that would be the equivalent of a solenoid. If you move it and maintain pressure on it, all right, that's a stall motor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've got that constant pressure, all right, holding the against the mount, and the way Atlas rails are connected to the plastic ties is just very poor design. All right, you go through a lot of super glue trying to keep them going.
Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind if and when I do my big shed and rearrange everything. But hopefully I can reuse what I've got out here. Of course, then my whole
I built a
plan
layout I had back in when I was in my 20s or 30s. I can't remember. I built a control board, and and I had all these little micro switches and everything on it. And you want to talk about a wiring mess underneath. I told myself I'd never do another one of those again. And that's why I do the Panel Pro JMRI and do my switch panel on it. So. I love TCC.
Stupid camera. I gotta get me a new camera.
There's a lot of things I gotta get.
Isn't there always though?
I gotta take this off. I'm overheating with this hat. Go back to this one.
And I did finally get my printer to work. You know what Epson did? They put in a program under one of your updates that would disable your printer if you're using aftermarket print cartridges, even remanufactured print cartridges. So it was either buy a new printer or go and spend money on getting Epson print cartridges. That was ridiculous.
Well, HP and another one, I can't remember who the other one was, are going to the refillable ink reservoirs.
Yeah,
colored ink reservoirs.
Epson's doing that too. They have the Eco Tank printers.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be able to do 11 by 17, and the Epson Eco Tank printer that does 11 by 17 is also almost $700. So,
Lee, I saw your comment about Lee's going live at 6 today, his time, which is noon Central, 1 Eastern. I won't be able to make it, Lee, because I've got to go to Home Depot.
I wish I had a Home Depot around here.
I got one a mile and a half away.
Yeah,
That was one of the
mine
requirements when we were searching for homes.
are all an hour and a half away. No matter which direction I go,
Cookville
it's
or
an hour and a
Crossville?
half. No, it's way over in Oak Ridge or Lebanon, however you want to say it.
They don't have a Home Depot or a Lowe's in Cookville?
They have a Lowe's. They have a Lowe's in Cookville and Crossville. But see, my foam is blue now instead of pink, and it's
Okay.
just a hair difference in thickness.
You know, you can sand them down to me.
Yeah, no, I will. I've got a couple places I gotta do a little bit of modification because I use like a floor underlayment underneath the foam. It's like Luon, but it's Lowe's product, and it's like a millimeter difference than the Home Depot Luon. So I had to do some adjustments for that. It's always good to use the same product everywhere. So, but it'll work.
Yeah, it can.
It will work. But I'm happy with my accomplishments. I got a lot more to do, but at least I'm starting to make moves now. I guess a lot of it was,
You're starting to make noticeable uh, improvements.
yes, definitely, and it's I don't have the room I thought I was going to have. You never have enough room. So just
Never
something
ever.
never ever just something I have to do. So I just do the best I can.
When I started building the shelf, my wife comes out. She goes, "You're not using the whole garage for your trainings, are you?"
uh,
I said, "No, no, no, no."
did you answer yes, dear? That's the
Like,
best way to answer anything.
I should have. I should have.
My wife used to hate that. Everything she'd ask me, I'd just say yes, dear. I'm always agreeing with her, right?
Well, I only got 2 days. I only got 2 days left to be able to get a car in here.
Ah, deadline. Yeah. So
Yeah. And it should be doable. We'll see.
so now is that high enough for you to get the car under it?
It's not. It doesn't overhang it.
Well, when you add in the rest of it in the center there, make sure she can drive under
Oh. I'd have to go buy a convertible.
it. Well, hey, that's one way to get a train layout sooner. Buy her convertible.
Yeah. She does not like low to the ground vehicles.
Yeah, neither do I. But I had that Jeep and I got tired of it having problems, which is a shame because I did love my Jeep, but I just the clutch was going out again. They had a recall on the Jeep for a clutch. They wouldn't pay me for my first clutch. It's like, come on.
You always got to throw that caveat in there, Kyle. That yet.
Yeah, well, if you have a double car garage,
Just half of it. There you go.
Yeah, double car garage, and you only need half. That's fair, I would think. The guy out in
That's right.
California that he has a double car garage. What is it? Pacific Southern. I can't
Oh,
remember.
SoCal?
Yeah, SoCal. That's it.
SoCal?
He only uses half of his garage, but I noticed he did expand a little bit into
Yeah,
the other
well,
part.
he doesn't use any of his garage for vehicles.
Oh, I thought he was. His wife had to be able to park inside.
At least one more foot, right, Robert? At least.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I had one more foot. That would make it better. One more. But oh well, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, I think it'll be nice with the shelf layout up there. Let me change cameras again. And with the shelf layout up there, with the motorman running a commuter train back and forth on a delay. So should
And
be nice.
switching layouts can be fun. So nothing
Yeah,
wrong
something
with
to tide
that.
me over till I can get a new shed.
Yeah,
So I can get a new shed out there.
that's what I'm trying to do.
I don't know what the previous owner. Had built and torn down, but the shed that's out there was full of lumber. So a lot of what I've used so far has been lumber that was already here. Oh, the other neat thing I did here, my computer's down here. Okay, right there. My DCC equipment is going to be on the backside there, but I put this shelf that's under here on drawer slides.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of that comment. All right. So now I can get very easily to any of the equipment, boards, etc., any of the wiring to the computer, and so forth. So.
Yep, that'll be good. My computer's actually back on the other side of all my monitors, down on a little step stool to keep it up off the ground. But I'll have to think about something like that when I get mine going. My DCC is going to be right over here in front of me on a shelf where I store all my engines, which I'm up to about 60 now. Yeah, and I got about 15 that still need DCC chips. There's another expense, but I've got a rather large stock that already have DCC chips in them, about 45. So I'll get there.
I still have a few left. I think I got 25 or so engines and 27. I counted them once. Probably should never have done that. But I still have 2 E units I got to put some decoders into. So
yeah, these other 2 Atlas FP7s are actually the first generation Atlas that were made in Austria by what was that? Roku, not Roku.
Roco.
Roco. So
Roco. ROCO.
Yeah. And they're not
They
bad.
also, same company did the military miniatures.
Yeah, they're
good.
They're not bad at all. I had to do a lot of research to find out about them. But they're definitely first generation. I found the guy that does the classic model railroad
Classic model trains.
Classic model trains.
Ron.
Yeah, he did a thing on the early Atlas one day, and I watched that. It was pretty good. I couldn't even figure out how to get the trucks off till I watched his video, and they actually you just sort of turn them and pry them up, and they pop off. So, but
Robert, that's who I'm. That's one of the 2 options I'm looking at as far as sheds go. Tough Shed, you have to supply the flooring, I believe. In other words, you got to pour the pad separate. And then the other way to go, I don't know if Tough Shed does or not. The other company here, they're portable buildings. They just bring them in and forklift them onto the site.
Yeah, I've got
So,
several of
the
those.
Tough Shed's one of the ones I'm looking at.
I have several of those company barn builders and mountain barn builders. There's a bunch of them around here. But a lot of them.
Okay, Lee's doing his at 6 p.m. UK time Saturday now.
So that would be noon our time.
Oh my! Noon? No, it's noon our time.
Yeah. And I don't know
Yeah,
if
there's a 6 hour difference to Central 5 to.
I don't know if you saw or not, but High really improved his railroad. He's got a CNEI gondola on it now, so it looks great.
I saw that.
Yeah, I sent it over with my daughter, and then she mailed it up to him. Saved me about probably $30. So she was going to make the
At least
flight anyway, and yeah, because it was
I have numerous friends in the Netherlands, and it's hell trying to mail them anything.
Yeah, but he's got one on
one
there now.
Package took 6 months because it sat in the Netherlands post office for 5 months.
Yeah, my daughter has said the same thing about it. It seems like the stall time is when it gets to the Netherlands. Of course, they don't like to work much there.
Yeah. Hey, JB.
JB, how you doing?
It gets there and they don't know. There'll be a customs issue and it'll sit at the post office till the people come to get it. Well, they don't know it's at the post office. All right, because they're not notified. They don't notify them that there's an issue and they need to come down to the post office. So,
yeah, I mailed my daughter. She got one of her debit cards that she filed for when she was over here, and then, of course, it didn't get here before she left. So I had to mail it to her. And just a debit card and the paperwork that I had to fill out for that to mail that was ridiculous. It didn't even weigh 3 ounces, and it still cost almost $40. So ridiculous.
Yep.
But I don't know. I'll just maybe when I go over there to see my daughter, I'll take High a couple other things because I want to go up and meet him when I'm over there. But
all right. Well, we're fast approaching our 1 hour. So I guess we really need to
thank you. And if you notice where those 3 stars sort of point together in the center, that's about where I'm at too. Did you move that, Steve?
I thought you're about where the right hand star's lower right star point goes.
No, I'm right basically in the center of the state. It's about the same distance either way to get out of north or south. Yeah.
And then Mystic John isn't on, but for him, I always have to do this. There we go. All right, enough with all that.
Hi, Cheryl.
John says, hi, Cheryl. Say hi. She says, hi.
Oh, well, it's, I'm glad to be back on here, Steve. I missed it. And now we just get you.
JB wants to know how your weather is.
My weather, it's 52 degrees right now and sunny. And the wind isn't blowing.
65 here in what? And the wind is not blowing?
And the wind is not blowing here, which makes it perfect, which is a rarity here because I always have wind.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes.
I'm sorry, I can't resist.
Well, he probably has what?
Hey, I'm not monetized, Robert. What are they going to do to me? I'd argue that anyway. I don't know how you copyright the state song and motto. And it was under 15 seconds on every occasion. So,
I thought you only had 5 seconds.
Yeah, hi, we were talking about you. No, they're each. Yours is 15 seconds and mine's 15 seconds. JB, I am. I'm sorry that Mystic isn't on because it's a standing joke between him and I about my music. Because forever, all I had was my my standard theme song. So then I had to diversify, so to speak. Anyway, well, folks, we're going to cut her short. And on this Friday before Christmas, want to wish everybody a jolly, merry Griswold family Christmas.
Yes, and same to everybody also.
We'll be back next Friday, same bat time, same bat channel, and take a look at what's been happening. What do you mean you just got here? You were here in the very beginning, huh? You had to go walk Cody. I got to go walk Penny. So with that, it's okay, JB. Nobody's ever late. They're here when they can get here. So, and we're just goofing around today anyway. Hopefully I'll make some progress on the up top there. Not much. I'll get the preliminary backdrop up and the sub road bed down. I got to find the cork and some flex track. So anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody. Y'all have a great one, and we'll see you next Friday.
Take care.
Bye now.
Bye.